Welcome to B&B RV. We're in Denver, Colorado. We're at 8101 East 40th Avenue. Phone number is 303-322-6013. This is the Gulfstream Conquest 24-footer. It's got a full wall slide. We're going to show you the inside and outside of this thing today. This first compartment up here just houses the generator. This all starts from inside. Everything runs from a switch inside. There's just access to the batteries. We've upgraded all of our units to dual house batteries, so you can go off grid a little bit longer. This one also has solar panels on the roof with the controller inside, so that helps maintain and keep those batteries charged. If you get the batteries all the way run down, that solar panel is not going to be enough to get it charged. It'll take quite some time, so you'll need to drive or plug into electricity or run the generator. Those three things will always charge up your house batteries. This is a little storage compartment. Keep some of the optional rental items in there. Another storage compartment here. This is when you get to a campground, if you're going to hook up to a cable, that's where your connection is there. Or if you purchase a unit and you want to get a satellite dish, you can hook that up to this connection as well. If you're going to plug in at a campground or your home, wherever you're going to plug in, there's the outlet. It's going to be a cord that plugs in here, plugs into a 30 amp outlet. City water connection is here. So if you're going to hook up to the water at the campground or your home or wherever and leave it hooked up with a hose, you're going to hook it up to this connection. On the back, we'll see, is where you're going to fill up the onboard water. So you have a tank on board that you can fill up back there as well. Got a flip up compartment here to make it a little easier to access the dump. So there's a hose that stores right here in the bumper. You pull that plug out of the bumper, you pull your hose around, take this cap off, put the hose down into the drain, and that one is your black tank. Gonna pull that straight out. Let all that dump, and once that's all done, close that tank, open the gray tank, which is the soapy water from your sinks and shower. Let it rinse that out a little bit. Close that, take the hose off, put it back in the bumper, and then replace the cap. And then you're all finished with the dumping. Then you'll go inside, and you'll want to put a little pouch or a little packet of chemical down the toilet. Flush it down with a little water, and that'll kind of keep it from growing and smelling and help it biodegrade a little quicker. So again, your sewer hose just stores right in this bumper. This is where you'll gravity fill. Just put the hose in to fill your onboard water. We put a ladder on all units to make it easy to access the roof. If you purchase it, you'll want to be able to access it at least once a year to check the seals. We use it in our rentals, check that roof every time it comes and goes. They do have a regular 2-inch receiver hitch. With the rentals, you're not allowed to tow with the unit because of insurance purposes, but if you purchase the unit, then that can be very handy for towing, bike rack, whatever. These all have an electric awning on them that will show you how to run up here in front. It does have this outside hot and cold where there can be an extension for a shower. That's not included in the rentals, but then if you purchase a unit, that's an option that comes with it. The black tank flush, if you were to hook up a hose here, that'll spray into the tank and rinse the inside of that tank out. So on the inside of that black tank, there's just screws that are the sensors. Toilet paper and other solids can kind of hang up on those, and that'll help rinse that out some. So sometimes when you dump those tanks, even though they're dumped, they don't read empty because there are items hanging up on those. Got some outside speakers out here. There's outlets under here. So if you do have power, if you have the generator on or you're plugged in electricity, you'll have outlets out here under your awning for your patio. This is another little storage area that's handy by the front door. And then this is just access to your propane. Propane's all built in. That's not a self-serve function yet. You'll go to campground, truck stop, wherever, they'll fill that up for you. On the inside, when we come in, one thing you'll want to be aware of is you have a door and a separate screen door. But these can open farther than you want. They can open to where they can get in the way of this awning. So if you're going to run this awning in and out, just make sure that you haven't opened the door too far so that it won't hit the door when the awning comes out. And all our control panels for that are inside. The only thing that you have right here in the entry door is a battery disconnect. So anytime you're using that, you want to have that in the on position like it is right there. You turn that off to store the unit. So anytime you're using it, that needs to be on. And there's a small switch right here for a light right above the entry door to make it easy to get in and out. And then right here, come on inside, above the door is our control panel. So the control panel has a few different options on it. This top part is your generator. You can see it says start and stop. So you just hold down the start button and you just hold that down until it starts and let go. And then you want to wait a minute or two for everything to cycle up. You'll actually hear a little beep. You'll see lights come on the microwave when everything gets powered up. So for the generator, you'll need the generator for any outlets if you're going to plug in appliances like coffee maker or toaster, for your microwave, for your air conditioner, and for your television. Everything else is going to run off your propane and battery. So unless you're using an air conditioner, microwave, want to watch TV, you don't need to have electricity by being plugged in or by running the generator. If you're plugged into electricity, you don't want to run the generator because you already have electricity from shore power. And then to shut the generator off, just press the button down and it will shut off. It's a reasonably quiet. It's the quietest one they make now. It's an Onan 4000. Up here's gauges. So you can see that you have a gauge for your gray tank, your black tank, your fresh water. If you push that down, right now we have this unit full of fresh water, you can see. And then your battery. On these units, this type of a battery display isn't very good for the 12 cycle battery or the deep cycle 12 volt batteries because they're good, 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 bad. They don't kind of gradually go down for you to know that you're wearing your batteries out. The thing that uses your battery power the fastest in these units is going to be your furnace. So if you're running your furnace for heat, that's actually running your battery down the quickest if you're not plugged into electricity. So just be aware of that. Everything else is LED lights, doesn't use too much power. There's a light under your awning. That's this switch. There's a light down by the step to get in and out. There's a porch light outside. These are ceiling lights inside. Water heater on and off. So you want to turn your water heater on. Takes about 15 minutes or so, depending on how cold it is, to get yourself hot water. Anytime you're going to use your onboard water, if you're not hooked up to a pressurized hose like we mentioned on the outside, to use onboard water, you have to have the water pump on. And that's for everything, including your sink, your shower, your toilet. This awning in and out. So you just push this button down and your awning will go out on the outside. When it gets out, push it in, it'll bring it back in. Same thing for the slide out. So this unit has a full wall slide. You're just going to press out. We'll show you that here. The one thing you want to make sure before you start to slide this out is that the driver's seat is not too far back against the slide out, because the slide out then will scrape the back of the seat. There's also a ladder. This bed will fold down, this piece will fold down to become a bed. And there's a ladder that connects on there for you to climb up and down to that bed. So you want to make sure that that ladder is fastened up against the wall anytime that you put it away so that it doesn't fall in the way of that slide. So just hold down this slide button until we get that slide all the way out to the wall. Once that gets out there, you've got a seal. So there's a big seal all the way around. Anytime that slide is all the way in or all the way out, it is sealed. So just make sure that you run it all the way out. Once again, this piece flips over to be the bed. The ladder can connect here. This TV's on a swing arm so it can come out. And this is all storage up in front with these cabinets. This particular one over here has your DVD player in it on the side. And then there's a bar up here with your controls. And there's a manual that we keep, that we've written, that explains everything in here and everything about that. There's several options on this bar. It'll tell you which option that you want to use for which feature, whether TV, cable, DVD, that's all explained in the manual. Up here in the cab, everything should be pretty familiar because this is just a Ford van. We do add electric heated mirrors. So the top button here is to turn the heated portion of the mirrors on, and then just adjusting the mirrors here left and right. Lights, doors, door locks. There is a backup camera on our units, so anytime you put it into reverse, you're going to see what's behind you. You can also set this, go through the menu on here to camera, and just have that camera on when you drive as another rear view mirror. There is a cruise control, but these are pretty heavy units, so unless you're on level, fairly level ground and it's not super windy, the cruise will work. Typically though, it's going up and down hills or whatever, it's going to kick out of the cruise just because it's too heavy. But when you go up or down a significant hill, this tow haul button is very useful. So if I start this up, you'll see that when I go ahead and push the tow haul button, there's a little indicator light that shows up right here to tell me I have that on. So what you want to do there is, if you're going up a hill or mountain, you want to push that tow haul button and just leave it on, and that way it'll keep it from shifting up and down. And leave that on coming downhill so that as you're coming down, you won't go too fast. And if you're still going faster than you want coming down, if you press the brakes twice, just tap the brakes twice, this will shift down for you. You just don't want to have to use your brakes coming downhill and get the brakes hot. So that's a very good feature. Air conditioner. We include a level in these. Your refrigerator needs to be level for the fluids to circulate, and that's how every fridge works. So the rule of thumb is if you're going to be unlevel, parked somewhere for more than 15 minutes or so, you want to get level or turn your fridge off. We don't recommend shutting your fridge off. It's summertime. If it's cold outside, you can probably do that for a while, but the idea is to get level. We include leveling blocks with these in our rentals. You'll see on the outside there's going to be water hose and leveling blocks so that you can pull up on those blocks. So whichever, if the front's low, you put the blocks in the front tires, you pull up one until you get this. If this bubble is touching that black circle, then you're pretty good with the level on the fridge. You're not going to have to get it perfect, just make sure you're close so that fridge can operate. And we'll look at the fridge here in a minute, but it's automatic, so it's going to run the entire time. It will be on 100% of the time in your trip. So if we go back into the middle of the cab here, or the cook cabin I should say, you've got a nice big dinette. This is called the Dream Dinette. We've upgraded these. Right underneath is a little handle, and what you're going to do is, this handle is the lock for it. You're just going to unlock this, and then this table slides down. So you're going to slide that table all the way down to sit on this rail, and then these 4 cushions are going to create your other sleeping area here. And when you get done in the morning, you just move the cushions, you lift this table back up, and you lock it here, and now you're all set for breakfast. So that's just another sleeping area that's really easy to convert. For the rentals, there will be cards, lighter, manual. Again, we write our own manual, so anything and everything is covered in that manual that's in here. Seat belts. This one has 4 seat belts in the dinette. We've got a full kitchen. This one has a glass cover for the top. This is not a cooktop. So on this one, you want to make sure that you flip this up out of the way before you cook. That is just a cover. If you try to cook with that down, it's going to shatter this glass. Make sure you lift that up. This cooktop starts real easily. You're just going to turn your burner on, and then it has an igniter here that lights it. And it does the same thing in the oven. Just turn it on and it'll ignite. With the oven, it does take a long time. Those things still, I don't know why, but it takes a little while for those to start. When you turn it on and it's not lighting and it's not lighting, and you think it's not working, just continue, because you push this in and just turn it over. Hold it in while you're trying to light it, because that's your pilot. So hold it in, and as long as you hold it in and kind of just keep hitting that igniter, just know that it takes a little while for those to start. And then again, this is just a cover, so you put this back down while you're traveling. You have a light and a fan here. Microwaves, just like home. One easy way to see if your electricity is working, whether you've started your generator or you're plugged into electricity, is you'll get lights on your microwave, and that's an easy way to see that you have electricity and power. The fridge in this one is a nice large fridge, as you can see. Separate freezer. And on the top here, you're going to have an on and an off. And then you're going to have this auto with this button below it. So if you push this button out, that's gas only. Push it in, that's auto. And you want to have that auto light on. What that does is anytime it gets the opportunity, it'll switch to electric. When you don't have electricity, it's going to run on gas. So it's going to switch between the two automatically. If this check light comes on, somehow that went out. Turn it off, turn it back on, and it'll relight itself. It's about a 30 to 60 second cycle. If it can't relight, that check light will come on again. You won't see that often, but it's good to get used to looking for that in case it gets a bubble in the gas or something causes that to go out. In the bathroom, everything's pretty standard. There's a pedal on the bottom of the toilet. You push the pedal to flush. If you push that pedal part way down, you'll add water to the toilet. Push it all the way down, you're going to flush. You're going to have a shower in there with the head has an on and off, so you can get wet, turn it off, soap up, turn it on, and save some water in the shower. Underneath of the sink, you're going to have toilet paper and chemical. Anytime, again, that you dump out there, come in and put one of the chemical pouches in the toilet and add a little bit of water. So when this unit slides out like we did, this has a convertible bed. So you just come in, flip the mattress over, put your bedding on, and you can even leave your bedding on, flip this over, and it'll flip up back and forth very nicely. In the back, this one has a thermostat, and basically you're just going to hit this button, hit it to turn it on, and go through the modes: the fan, cool, heat, off, and just set that temperature where you want. So when you set that on cool, you running the air conditioner, you do have to have electricity. So either plugged into electricity or running the generator. But for the furnace, you do not. It will run off your batteries and propane. If you purchase the unit, we've already had it pre-wired for another TV in the bedroom that you can mount here. There's an exit window in the back. It has some neat little features for some of the lighting. Some of the lights have switches as you get in the door and stuff to make it easy, but then others are just touch. So you simply touch the ring on the light to turn it on and off. Others, like these little reading lights, if you press it once, you'll get a nice little blue light. If you press it the second time, it'll turn, and hold it down for a second, it turns to the white reading light. So a lot of neat features, ton of storage in the wardrobe. This is the full wall slide 24-foot Conquest by Gulfstream. Hope to see you here at B&B soon. Thanks.